What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. It says appearance of Nolan Wells on stage at the NABJ convention in Atlanta. Says they're joined by attorney Ben Crump and civil rights activist Al Sharpton. Pretty sure if y'all don't know what that is, I'm sure a lot of y'all do. It's National Association of Black Journalists. They have showed up there with Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, as y'all know. You got it right here. This is a private meeting. This is what Al Sharpton posted. It's a private meeting, before the ABJ, with leader Hakeem Jeffries, Ben Crump, and the parents of Nolan Wells. This is Christine and Elmore, pretty sure. We're discussing, it says we're discussing the fight of justice, accountability for Nolan, and the need to make sure families seeking justice are heard. Now, let me tell y'all something about this. I could see, honestly, it would definitely look better. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but this is me just being real, because I feel like this is something that's very, it's something that's very interesting to me on how things are going right now. And I find pretty interesting and wild. My thing is, it'll look better if something were, if it was actually information out there, evidence that even somebody did something, rather whoever, what color you are, don't really matter. It'll look better. In this case, there's nothing right now, and we're gonna talk more, obviously, on it, but it'll definitely look better with the way that they're moving, the things that they're doing. Because right now it's just a lot of this is odd to me. Ben Crump posted, it says on August 19th, Nolan Wells' birthday. We are asking everyone to come together in prayer, unity, and love. Let us stand with Nolan's family and pray for the one thing that have truly asked for from the beginning: the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells. Now, again, I don't blame him. I'm about to sit here and I don't blame him, meaning I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh yeah, just stop investigating. Everything needs to be shut down. No, not at all. Investigate, do what they did. My thing is that when you take everything and you're making everything about race, and they're more so looking to get their name out there. Speaking on Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, and now it makes it even more odd that you truly have these individuals that are truly, you got Christine, and I'm pretty sure his name is Elmore. You have them that it makes it seem like things are just dragging along. You know what I mean? Like everything is dragging along, and things just doesn't seem right. It truly doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem okay of what they're doing and how they're doing it. And that's what truly bothers me a lot within this, is that you have this going on. You truly have this going on. And it's when people talk about, the money, is it the money that they trying to keep up? Is it trying to, like, what is it? And that's what got me confused about a lot, is what's actually going on, within this. And it's odd to me. It's very odd to me. But you have it right here. Speaking on Nolan Wells' birthday, that they're having something, and we're going to get more into that because it gets even crazier. Check it out.
There's going to be a prayer visual in Ocean Springs. I know Reverend Al is going to work to make sure we're all praying all across the nation. But, y'all, let's pray. Can we pray together in unity to say, let's get to the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells? Can we do that, America? Can we at least come together in unity on his birthday? Everybody who claimed to ever be a friend of his, can we come together in unity and pray for the truth and try to have love in our hearts for this family, for this brokenhearted mother and father, his sisters and brothers? Can we try to give them grace and give them love and pray for their humanity, for their son who was lost on 4th of July and it's never coming back. Is that so much to ask? Let's have a national day of prayer on August 19th, next Wednesday, for Nolan Wells.
One thing about it, I feel like it's a pretty nice thing. I've not heard at all that Nolan Wells is a bad young man. I haven't heard that at all. Everything that I've heard between his friends, between his family, um, I haven't heard not one time that Nolan Wells has spoken bad, has said anything bad, has said this, has said that. I haven't heard anything, about any of that. Um, and I truly feel like this is something that is pretty much something that's cool. You know what I mean? To celebrate, that, I truly do. Now, what I don't like is that what they're still pushing when it's coming down to race, when it's coming down to the blame game, when there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. There's nothing. And it truly bothers me a lot on what they're constantly doing, what they're constantly pushing for. It's definitely a sad thing. It's not something that I agree with of what they're doing. But one thing about it, I don't know. But everything changes. Trust and believe, everything changes. I haven't showed y'all everything. This is right here. This is the flyer. August 19th at 7 p.m. They're having a national prayer rally. This is what Ben Crump posted live from Mississippi. So this would be live. You have a Dr. Jamal Bryant, a keynote speaker. Me personally, like I said, like people are calling it, a photo op, and they're saying, this is for Ben Crump, this is for, Al Sharpton, these are things that they're clearly, trying to do and what they're trying to push for, which is definitely, me personally, I feel is something that's very much so sickening. I truly find it sickening of what they're doing. But it gets worse, like I said. You got it right here. It says Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, and Nolan Wells' family are publicly inviting people, including Nolan Wells' family, to gather in Mississippi to remember Nolan for what would have been his 19th birthday. Now, let me tell y'all something. This right here, truly, 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 and this is me being completely honest with y'all. I don't think that this is something that's I can say bad. Now, the way that they're doing it when it's coming to Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, and stuff like that, that's one thing. And people would disagree with me. I mean, this is something that I'm gonna say. This is something that that you would expect. You definitely would expect. Celebrating that. So I can't take that away from them. Now, them doing this and saying this, bringing up race, and then you got this individual that I haven't even spoke about yet, but he's claiming that people need to gather up and go at individuals when it come down to this event. When you have stuff like that and when you're putting this like that's something that's not okay. It's truly something that's not okay to do. But you have people that's like this. You have people that's constantly giving those threats, people that's constantly being disrespectful, and it's something that's not right. Check it out.
All you little gangbangers in these inner cities around the U.S., what y'all need to be doing is taking all that anger and the hatred and your bad attitudes and your 3 pounds and your 4.5s and your AKs and your ARs and your switches and your poo shicey mask. Y'all need to be loading up them vans and y'all need to be going straight to Mississippi and handling them people who did Nolan Wells wrong. That's what y'all need to be doing. Y'all need to stop abusing each other in these inner city streets and aim that energy in the direction where it needs to be aimed. You need to take that recklessness and point it to Mississippi. That's what you need to do. Because I know how it is in Mississippi. I was born and raised there, right? Y'all need to stop messing with people who not on the same level as y'all. Go give that anger and that hatred to the people who are on the same level as y'all. The people who actually want to do you harm. Yeah. Take it to Mississippi. Take it to Mississippi. Load up them vans. Load up them weapons. Put them masks on. And go to Mississippi and handle business. And don't come back until somebody pays.
And hopefully I don't get copyrighted from the music, but he literally saying that don't come back until somebody pays. Like stuff like that is truly very sickening. Is something that's not okay. Something that this is something. And what I find crazy about a lot of this is a simple fact of people not calling it out. We have these platforms, even Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, and stuff like that, that should be able to let people know, like, violence is not the answer, regardless of like whatever is going on, this, that, and the other. You're having these platforms, these big platforms, and it's people that obviously have more than me. You know, I'm sitting at almost 600,000, and it's people with millions. You know, that can be able to explain to people and let people know this is not the answer. This is not what you do. This is not. But you still have people that's constantly pushing for this. You have people that's, oh yeah, we need to go in vans. We need to do this. We need to make sure, and that's something that's not okay to do.
Until somebody pays. Okay? And if y'all can't do that, sit down, shut the fuck up, and go back to school, pick up a book, start reading, put on you a pair of glasses, right? Huh? Start doing them literacy practice. Let's study some nouns and some verbs and some adverbs and some interjections and shit. Let's do that.
Telling y'all, definitely insane. Something that truly is very much so sickening. It says Benjamin Crump. This is about Brandon Tatum, by the way. Said Benjamin Crump lied about the sheriff making the final ruling day one, just to manufacture fake racial outrage over Nolan Wells. It's completely irresponsible to accuse police of misconduct when they simply stated that no initial evidence of foul play even existed. Chula have it right here. Check it out.
Why are you demanding accountability when there is nothing that has happened that will lead you to believe that they're not doing a fair investigation? If I sit here before Benjamin Crump and say, what have they done that's unfair? They lied and said that the sheriff made a determination. He cannot. It was the day they found his body. He did not make a determination. Why are you lying to the public? He said, at this point, we do not have evidence of foul play. It appears to be a drowning, but there needs to be an investigation. That is what was said. But they get on TV and they blast it out there like, look, he already made a determination and nobody know. It's impropriety because at some point in history in Mississippi, black people were done wrong. So therefore, every investigation is false. Every white person is wrong. That's not fair or reasonable. Let Stewhead give another statement, Roland.
It's about the evidence, nothing else. And this family has always said from day one, even when I called Reverend Allen, we talked to him, they have been consistent. We want to know what happened to our child. Everything else is just, it's just clickbait and everything. It's about what happened to our child. Black press, NABJ, we need you now more than ever to keep everybody focused. What happened to this 18-year-old black teenager in Mississippi?
Telling y'all, pushing that whole race thing. Now, let me tell y'all something about this, though. They keep on asking, what happened? What happened? We need to know what happened. We need to know what's going on. We need to know who did this. We need to know if they did that. They keep on asking, right? I find it insanely crazy, and we gonna speak on it too, on why they haven't turned the phone in. I don't know if it's because they want to keep pushing this whole money thing. I don't know if it's because it's something that's on the phone that they don't want to get out. That is just not. That is nothing complete. I don't know what it is, but it's been since July 4th, July 5th, around July 4th, I say they didn't have that phone. And it's now August 15th, and that phone still ain't turned in. I don't know, a little odd to me. Me personally, I know that my parents, my grandparents, anything like that, if they know that the police, that the FBI, you know, they have those the technology, they have those things to find this and find that, they gonna try to find every single thing. Every single thing. You got Al Sharpton says that if Democrats take the House, Hakeem Jeffries should use his subpoena power to investigate, you know, the passing of Nolan Wells. Again, this is what makes it very much so wild. Is that now is more so you done took a case. Clearly, we don't know too much that's going on with it when it's coming down to this investigation. We don't know too much that's going on. There hasn't been ruled a foul play. You know, there's nothing. There's nothing out there. But then they have turned it political to where it's like, okay, Now, this is why y'all need to vote. This is why y'all need to get all these Democrats. Vote Democrat. This is exactly why. Now they want to push this. And I feel like this is one of the main reasons on why they're continue to drag a lot of things along. And it's definitely insane to me. Check it out.
I don't know what happened, but I got your history in Mississippi. And the history tells me black boy go out with 3 white kids come back.
And they keep on pushing a black boy going out with 3 white kids. It was more kids than that, and it wasn't just white kids.
There's a blurred story on what happened. Now y'all all hostile and all upset. Didn't have the keys, but then you had the keys. Some about this don't make sense given your history. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stay on this until we find out what happened. It may be nothing, but we're not going to leave that up to chance
now with people that
are distorted. We going to stay on this case. Mm-hmm. And lastly, since they want to talk about lawsuits, one of the things tying your morning together, Tiffany, they may come back, as you suggested, playing right-wing politics with this, with the local prosecutor, maybe even with the federal people. But if we have a change in January and there is a Democratic House, I said that if Hakeem becomes the speaker, he needs to have the chair judiciary subpoena them to the Judiciary Department, testify. No, that's what this vote means. Mm-hmm. We need to have a check and balance of government so that we got somewhere to go. We can't depend to go to Trump's Justice Department.
Every single thing, bro. I promise y'all, every single thing. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what it is, bro. If it got something to do with a cat stuck in the tree, they gonna say Trump got something to do with it. They gonna say Trump got something to do with it. I'm telling y'all, it can be as small as, oh, I didn't make dinner right. It got something to do with Trump. It's something that got something to do with Trump. And I find it completely insane. I truly do. I could honestly see if this was here. Oh, okay, well, this person, they did this. That person, and they suspect, this is foul play. Something that happened. Now, and that's almost, that's just a little percentage of what I can see what they saying. Bro, there is nothing. They haven't even turned in the phone. That's wild to me, bro. It's definitely wild to me. You got it right here. Brandon Tatum says, activists demand accountability for Nolan Wells, yet his own family refuses to surrender his phone to the police or the FBI.
I haven't given over the phone to nobody. Not local police or the FBI. They're getting ready to present evidence to a grand jury. They don't have a phone. They may very well have determined that, or may not be able to determine that anybody did anything to Nolan. But if there was something deleted from the phone that is a crime of tampering with evidence, people will go to jail. But they're getting ready to present to the grand jury with no phone. Therefore, if somebody did something, they have no evidence
at all.
And the grand jury is going to come back and say nobody did anything. And they're going to be mad when y'all the ones didn't give the phone over. You can give the phone to them the day after he died. If you suspect things have been, so it can be preserved. And they could extract it. Send it to your people. Let them extract it. A secondary extraction will allude to tampering if the state decided to tamper with the phone. It frustrates me that our country is divided because people are stupid and evil.
Just money hungry. Honestly, that's how I look at it. I feel like a lot of people are money hungry when it comes down to it, especially when they got something to do with deaths, that I've learned. Ever since, we obviously seen it. We're starting to see it within cases. And the funny thing about this is that people literally talked about this with Carmelo Anthony. People literally was saying, I feel people would start to make this out of thing. I'm not saying that it's wrong, that you shouldn't do those things. I've said it before, with Nolan Wells. But when they dragging things and they're doing things, I'm not going to say, honestly, to themselves. Because I feel like if you actually wanted to know what is going on, what is this, what is that, you would have turned in that phone. You would have turned in the phone. You would have talked to those friends, interrogate, talk to them, see what's going on. You know, talk to the parents, talk to everybody. Find out everybody who was there. Did you see him this? Did you see him that? More so it is. It's like, it's truly showing. I'm not saying that it's nothing, but it's truly showing that they know it's nothing, if that makes sense. But they want to drag things along as long as possible.
It don't make any sense to me. Let her finish.
We want to make sure that every stone is unturned because his life matters. All of our children's and our families' lives matter. And we must fight back. We must stand up and we must demand accountability for this family's loss.
Asking for accountability and clearly haven't turned in the phone. I find it definitely insane. And one thing about it, I truly don't understand what's going on. You know, I truly don't understand what's going on with that. I find it completely crazy that so many people aren't understanding what's going on. When it's a lot of this is very much so common sense within it and what they're doing. I truly find it common sense of what they're doing and how they're doing things, and it's definitely sad that they're doing these things. I don't know. One thing about it, I want people to be able to pay attention. Obviously, you have Ben Crump, you got Al Sharpton that's pushing this whole race thing. It's like they want to keep it up, to keep their names out there, to keep their face out there, and keep that money flowing. That's honestly how I feel about it. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all think. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Catch y'all next one.